Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Yo!
Oh my God!
Yo. It's Yo MMA Rap with Louis J. Gomez and Dave Smith.
Yo, welcome back to Yo MMA Rap. It's your boy Louis J. Gomez, presented by YoKratom.com. I'm not presented by YoKratom.com.
You are.
Yo MMA Rap.
Check your contract.
I kind of am. I got to be honest with you guys. These guys do everything for us, and you should be doing everything for them. If you see the guys from Yo Kratom at Skankfest, give them blowjobs, and make sure if you're buying your Kratom from anywhere, it's YoKratom.com, home of the $60 kilo, with the big dick Dave Smith himself. What up, baby boy?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man.
I'm happy to be here again. I really like this show.
I love it.
You know, when you remember the birth of this show was on Legion of Skanks. You just went, you go, I think I'm going to do an MMA podcast.
Yeah.
And I went, I'd be down to do that. And you were like, no way, really? And there was, I just go, I kind of miss talking MMA with you.
Yeah.
Because we love the sport so much, and like we started doing that. We used to do it all the time, and now there's like, before either of us had families or anything, we would do this all the time, and now it's kind of like we got a million things going on. We don't do it. It's like, yeah, let's make time.
Well, it's the foundation of everything that we do here. Gas Digital doesn't exist without the hammer fisting MMA podcast. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I love talking MMA with you as well, Dave. I love meeting up with you every week and doing this show, and I love the fans of the show. Very positive fan base that loves this show. So shout out to all of the Yo MMA Rap fans out there. We have a great show planned today. This past weekend, Corey Sandhagen defeated Song Yadong via doctor stoppage between round 4 and round 5. We'll get into that a little bit. A fight that I did not watch.
That is,
Thank you.
unprofessional.
You can do it again, Natalie. It's fine.
We went from the...
Don't. I hear he is. Pig vomit. Here he is coming in. I'm Vic. Thank you, Natalie, for doing fart sound effects for Vic when he comes in.
Vic's coming in.
I was going to back you up. I was just saying that we went from having the craziest week to like the most lackluster card in MMA. So I don't blame you.
Well,
I don't blame you this week.
Look, it's funny because we're spoiled with MMA at this point. Because the truth is, that's okay. Just let it happen.
What's going on? Is there a robot in the booth?
But the truth is that this was a really good main event, and it's unbelievable for people like us and Vic and guys. We've been like real big fans of the sport for a long time. You go, the level of these fighters is so insane that even when you see a card like this, like Vic said, like, oh, everyone was so hyped about last week's card, this one flew under the radar. You're watching guys who are higher level fighters than the absolute best in the world were 10 years ago when we were watching it. Like, none of them could do shit like these guys can do. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and look, the reality is there's a ton of MMA on. Dave, you can give me your opinion on this fight, and I'm sure the fans want to hear it as well. I will get around to it. I heard it was a pretty great fight. It was pretty technical, and Song Yadong apparently stepped up to the task, and it was a very even fight going in to that fifth round. So, shout out to both competitors. I've been on the road every weekend. There's all these fights on. It's nonstop work. I have Skankfest coming up in a month. Shout out to Yo Kratom once again for being the marquee sponsor.
I'm so busy.
Vic,
I'm busy, man.
Is that your mother, Vic? That sounds like you sound like an old Mexican woman. Oh, I'm so busy. Oh,
That's my impression of you.
I sound like an old Mexican woman to you.
Yes, you do.
I am very busy, and I did not get a chance to watch Song Safong and Sandhagen fight. So whatever. Sue me.
Song Yadong.
Song Yadong yourself.
It does.
Song my dong.
His name does sound like you're already making fun of his name.
It does.
Like you're not saying it right.
Yeah.
But it is. Yeah. I mean, like, there's not too much to break down the fight. It was a great fight. I didn't think it was like razor close. I thought Corey was like, winning the fight the whole time. He took some shots, and Song Yadong was tough and didn't get put out of there by one of the best strikers in MMA. but he fucking landed this fucking nasty elbow in the first round that just sliced him open.
I saw the cut on
and
his
the whole
face.
rest of the fight was like changed after that. And he did a really good job. Corey was doing shit I've never seen him do before.
The shot of Song Yadong's cut right there. It should have been right. See, I don't need to produce in real time. You guys don't see that happening? There's two people in the booth. There's like Vic at home in fucking Guadalajara or wherever he's at. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's mentioning something. Oh, that would be a perfect time for a multimedia platform. Coop, it's on you.
The cut was bad. It was in a bad
pull
spot.
It up more.
Was a bad
If
cut.
we're talking about something, please, by all means, just cut to that shot where you could show us what we're talking. It's a fucking cool aspect.
Can I? You know, it's kind of a funny thing, dude.
What?
So they have
How pussy like that gashes on his eye?
no.
Natalie, are you getting turned on by looking at his eyebrow? Honestly.
I said a funny thing, not a hot thing.
Okay, we're all getting turned on.
So they have the doctor, come in and check the cut. This happens in the first round. This cut.
Yeah.
So every round, the doctor's coming in and check the cut because it's a nasty cut, and then finally, he stops it in the in between the fourth and the fifth round. But there's something really funny about just like a doctor coming in and checking that. He's seeing that, and like he looks at it, and he's like, "Okay, look at me. Okay, look over here. All right, you can keep cage fighting." Like, there's just something so ridiculous about like a doctor. First, you're just like as a fan, you're just like, yes, this is a cool ass fucking doctor.
Yeah.
But it's just like a funny thing to like get your medical advice. Like if you're just being a doctor about this, you're like, "Hey, doctor, should I fist fight another man in a cage?"
Yeah, I
like
think
even
that-
without a cut, you feel like a doctor would just be like, "No, that's bad for your health."
It specifically goes against their Hippocratic oath.
Yeah, you would-
Where
you would
you're
think
like,
so.
"No, you need to. That doctor should be throwing himself in front of the cage
No,
doors.
don't do this. You go, "Hey, doctor, I have a huge gash on my face. Is it good for me to get punched in that gash?"
You know what? You're good.
He goes, you could take a couple more punches in that gash. Like it's so bizarre to like watch this happening. It's like, guys, are we savages or are we civilized? Like, I don't know which one we are. It's like we're trying to pretend to be both, but there is something really funny about a doctor just looking at that and you go, "All right, and I'm looking at your skull bone there. Yeah. Should you continue to fight people in a cage right now?" I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
So what's that's nowhere near the worst cut we've ever seen. What was the old school one? I think it was Shoney Carter. Was that?
No, I think what you're thinking of is Marvin Eastman versus Vitor
Shoney
Belfort.
Carter. Come on, same.
Yeah, listen, we all know what you did there. If you look that up, Marvin Eastman versus Vitor Belfort cut was that was a nasty one. Woo! Look at that one, Lewis.
Oh, yeah, that was
that
was the worst one.
Nuts.
Sorry, guys. I'm signing into the chat on my phone right now because, guys, what day was it that I knocked over a cup of coffee completely into the computer? Like, I'm talking about. Whew.
It was like at least a week. It's been working since.
No, not really. There's been a lot of trouble with this click. It's not the click's sticking.
Okay.
Clicking and sticking. We might need to get me a new computer.
You think it's related to the coffee?
I think it might be related to the coffee. It will not allow. If I smash on it really, really hard, then it will open.
Yeah.
Well, just try pressing harder, says Lewis's girlfriend. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Victor.
So what are the other...
Look, I know. I'll tone it down, Lewis. I'm sorry.
Vic, you jump in on this too. What are the other worst cuts? The one that's coming to my mind was Eves Edwards versus Joe Daddy Stevenson. You remember that one?
I don't.
Pull that up. Eves Edwards, Joe Daddy Stevenson cut. That was, I just remember that because it was like, sometimes there's like blood is everywhere. It was like buckets of blood.
Yeah.
There was so much blood. I remember the rest of the card.
Joe
the
Stevenson
octagon
was bleeding, or
no.
was
He
Eves?
cut open Eves Edwards, like elbows him on the ground. And it was just like the mat was stained with blood.
Yeah.
That's it. But I don't know.
Thug Jitsu did not prevail that night.
It was not quite as good as Jiu-Jitsu.
Another bloody one was Joe Daddy Stevenson versus BJ Penn. That was the fight where BJ Penn licked the blood off his gloves. If you remember,
when he choked him, the blood was squirting out of his head.
Out of his face. So here's a funny little tidbit here, and I've told the story, I believe, on this show and every podcast that I've ever done about the first time.
And just to everyone you've ever met.
First time I met Joe Daddy Stevenson, or the only time I met Joe Daddy Stevenson.
That was it. That was
So.
That's true. It happened right back to him.
It was fucking wild how much blood.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I met him in Montreal, right? This is, a year or two after that fight had happened. He came out to our comedy show.
It was after?
It was, I met him after that fight Because the funniest part of all is like my MMA knowledge has always just been lacking. Like I'm a pothead.
You're just a pothead.
I don't remember details, right? And I remember I kept on saying, you know what, Joe Daddy? You went 5 rounds of BJ Penn. So what else are you gonna ask for, man? It's fucking incredible, dude. 5 rounds of BJ Penn. What round was Joe Daddy Stevenson stopped when he fought BJ Penn? Not only was he stopped, it was the bloodiest mess.
It was the most iconic moment in the history of the division at the
BJ Penn
time.
started licking his blood off of his hands.
Yes, after his blood was squirting out of his head.
And Joe Daddy Stevenson did not
correct
me at all. He was like, I'm just going to let him think that he's hanging out with me. What round was he stopped in?
Round 2.
Round 2, yeah. He didn't even get into the championship rounds.
Yeah, dude, you went the distance. Oh, my distance is a round and a half, by the way. That's what I mean by the distance.
That's a big deal, though.
By the way, all those fights may have been outdone by the co-main event. Did you see those pictures Dana White put up? I sent the link to.
Oh, let's see the pictures.
It was a big combat sports weekend the whole weekend, by the way, and I didn't watch
pull up
anything.
the link I sent to you.
Oh my God, what was that?
Pull up the link I sent to you guys. That's up close images of it.
Oh, that's
instead of just looking it up.
Yeah, look at Vic getting annoyed with the team right now.
Wow, Vic pulling rank.
No, I heard you get annoyed with the team.
No,
I send specific links for a reason, but
He sent them in Zoom, which is my computer and not Coop's.
Okay,
well,
understood.
You got to understand
Ooh,
for people.
Arguing. Natalie's clapping back.
Look, for people who don't understand.
Okay,
for people who don't understand the pecking order here, Coop and Natalie work for us. Vic works for corporate.
Oh my God! What the fuck is that?
All right, I'll be honest. I didn't watch the co-main event. Maybe I shouldn't have just started talking about cuts.
What the fuck was that?
All right, can we see some clips from the fight? How did this happen?
Working on it.
Was it that bad in the fight, Vic?
It looked pretty bad, but that picture made it look twice as bad.
Was that Chidi and Joe Wakawanawu?
And he won. He won. They were
No, and Joe Wakawanawu.
No, what are you talking about? What are you? It's Rodriguez. That's Gregory Rodriguez.
Oh, that's Gregory Rodriguez.
So Vic, tell me, because I missed this fight. I just watched the main event and one other fight.
Turn it down a little bit. There we go.
Not all the way.
He was going to. He was going to get the match was going to get called due to that cut, and he pulled out a winner there.
Yeah, that's a wild.
All right, let's see it.
Halfway through the first round. Well, you heard how D'Angelo said. He said.
This is pretty hilarious the way they make Daniel Cormier sound.
Hey, what's going on here?
Christmas time is here. What a fucking
play-by-play by Alvin and the Chipmunks.
What a brutal
Natalie,
sport.
I wasn't trying to start anything with.
No, there was a whole thing.
We're good.
Just awesome.
It's all right. I love you.
The greatest fucking sport.
It is brutal, dude.
It's the purest sport.
I need to pull out of my fight.
Oh, yeah. You shouldn't do this.
It's gonna get fucking wild. Yeah. Well, go back to
the call it, but if you look at it right there, it doesn't look as bad.
Yeah.
Like until they start wiping it off.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
It's not good, man.
Yeah, that's my only thing is I don't want to fucking get my head split open.
Yeah.
I'm unique in that.
Yeah.
My unique perspective. I don't want to have my head completely split open by Jason Ellis's elbows.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want
and
that
either. This cocksucker's going to throw elbows too. I know he is. Now I got to throw elbows. It's like if you got to if somebody's got a knife and you got a knife, like I got to use my knife too. I'm not going to not use this knife.
Could you use a knife? Are you allowed to use a knife? I'd say use a knife.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we'll see what happens. By the way, Harrington does have an opponent.
Who is this guy who Harrington's fighting?
Pull up Boogerbeard's profile on Twitter. Boogerbeard1. This is the guy that Harrington is going to box at Skankfest Vegas. Yo Critter presents Skankfest Vegas. Ellis Mania within Skankfest. Lots of boxing matches. I haven't completely decided
what day is Ellis Mania?
Ellis Mania is going to be Saturday and Sunday. All right, guys, please just turn it down. Let's assume it's going to come in really loud each time, and let's just. So this Boogerbeard, he's Harrington.
Well, he's got better training partners than Harrington.
Yeah, this is Izzy let Boogerbeard hold the belt. Says Boogerbeard's big claim to fame.
So what is this guy's thing? What is he? Does he box? Has he fought before?
No. So he's been he called me out. And then I was like, I'm not going to fucking buy. He has no experience. He has absolutely no experience.
There's no video of him throwing a punch.
Nope. But he's a big guy, 6'2", 230, 240. Not a small guy.
He's going to beat Harrington.
You think so?
He's 6'2", 240.
But with no training or experience. Doesn't mean I
don't want to. I love Harrington, and he's going to be a father soon. So I'll keep my comments private.
No, say
Why
what
do
you
have to
think.
hold back?
I
He's gonna be
think
dead.
Look at that. He looks like Harrington.
Yeah, he does. But listen, man. Size is a really big deal until you get like really skilled. Yeah, like if you have like real skills, you can compensate for size. I don't know that Harrington's there.
Can I say I think it's the opposite. I think size when you're not very skilled, I don't think size does really that much for you. I think if they were both really skilled competitors, it would be a big deal to have a big size discrepancy. It would. It's why you have weight classes in professional fighting, right? I think that Harrington's got experience, and Harrington's got a big fat belly. Harrington's not going to weigh that much less than this guy.
Yeah,
you know.
All right. How much does Harrington weigh?
If I had to guess, Harrington has to weigh 210 pounds right now.
This is the guy's video to message to Harrington.
Let's see.
Hi there, Mark Harrington. Hey, man, I just wanted to say thanks for accepting the fight with me. I'm sure that you'd like to shut me up, you know, and I don't blame you for that because I'm going to be talking the whole fucking time, man. I am 6'2", 230 to 240, and sometimes a little more pounds of pure anal destruction. I will rectally wreck you in front of everybody with your consent because, honestly, if somebody says no, you need to respect that. Even if it's somebody like you who I have zero respect for. I am going to fuck you up, Mark Carrington. I'm going to fucking make sure that for the rest of your life, people are going to say, hey, isn't that the guy Boogerbeard knocked out and then took down to the wedding chapel and gay married in Vegas? Yeah, you're that fucking guy. Congratulations on becoming my new wife. See you next month.
All right, I think Harrington's going to beat him.
You think so? Why?
Yeah.
Why now? Because he's dorkier than you thought?
He's dorkier, the grays in the beard. I think Harrington's
I don't know how old he is. Here's the thing. For all intents and purposes, I think that they are probably of equal athletic ability, right?
Harrington's been boxing a bit more.
Harrington has been boxing.
Yeah,
Harrington is horrible. Harrington is a horrible fighter. But Harrington has a gameness.
All right, he's gonna have to train, dude. You got to make sure he
Boogerbeard said he's not going to train.
But so that's why Harrington has to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because he's I love Mike. I really do. I think he's a little bit, his self-appraisal is a little out of touch with where he actually is. And so he's got to I've watched him look at guys fighting and tell me he could beat that guy with guys who would wreck him.
Oh, and Rough or Rowdy.
Yeah, he'd be like, I think I could take that guy.
Those guys
I think I could take that guy. Like, no, you couldn't. So he's got to really take this seriously and train hard. And then I think he will work. And I think he'll win.
So here's the thing. I obviously I love Harrington. Harrington's on Team Rattlesnake. I'm going to be in Harrington's corner for this fight, right? I think Boogerbeard said Jake Shields is going to be in his corner, which I don't know if it's true, but I love Jake. Open invite if Jake wants to come out to Skankfest.
Jake is the man.
There's a UFC in town that weekend as well. There's going to be a lot of fighters in town. So I'm assuming there'll be a handful of fighters on, I
want to, by the way, if Jake Shields is in Skankfest, is coming to Skankfest, I'm excited for that because I want us to hang with him. Oh, yeah. We fucking had him on the show and me and him go back and forth on Twitter all the time, but we've been watching him forever, and it's just fucking.
He's the man.
He retweeted my tweet about Nate Diaz, which I said how incredible it was that Nate Diaz, in his last 5 fights in the UFC, he beat Anthony Pettis, tied Jorge Masvidal, beat Leon Edwards, beat Hamzat Chimaev, and then beat fucking Tony Ferguson. I go, what a way to go out!
Yeah,
It's insane.
So anyway, Boogerbeard. All right, here's my thing. Okay, Harrington. First of all, he's got to start training. He missed today. He didn't show up today.
Yeah, Harrington needs to really train. Take this very seriously.
Also, Boogerbeard, and I know he'll watch this. He's like a MMA super fan, super cool guy, really sweet guy, big comedy fan.
Very funny.
He's excited to just come out to Skankfest. He's
awesome.
He's really
That's
pumped.
awesome.
Really good dude, right? And I think these guys, it's like size versus, I can't say skill, but size versus a little bit more experience. The experience does play a factor. Having the cardio to go 3 2-minute rounds, just doing it and learning how to shift your gear down, go at 50%. Those are skill sets that it takes a long time to get, and those are skills that Harrington does have.
Well, look,
and I watched it happen with Dylan last year when Harrington boxed Dylan.
I was going to say that's the example. Look, I know we're analyzing the absolute lowest level of fighting possible, and the truth is that I just knew. Look, I knew 50 dudes who I knew when I was in high school who just would have fucked up Harrington or Dylan in that fight. Who have never boxed a day in their fucking life. But if you put gloves on them and they went out there, would have just fucking lit them up. But a huge factor in fighting, and this is true for people who have just seen street fights in their life, a huge, huge factor, right? Like before you even think about technique or any of that shit, one of the biggest things is just which guy is not terrified of punches being thrown at his face.
Yeah.
Which guy is kind of like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do a thing where punches are thrown at my face. I'm ready.
That's a big
someone
deal.
else is kind of like, all right, punches might be thrown at my face.
Also
and Harrington has had punches thrown at his face.
Thousands of people watching, tens of thousands of people watching online, live. These live streams are a big deal.
This is a thing. And so you could see Harrington being like, look, I've had this happen before. People have thrown punches at me before.
Sparring twice a week, with me and Diego, and it's not like I'm super skilled. Diego is very skilled, but I have the reason I don't want to fight Boogerbeard was because I'm not going to fight a guy who has absolutely there's no upside in me fighting a guy who has no experience.
Well, you are super skilled compared to Dylan. So what Mike Harrington's facing is like, yes, compared to that, he's but super skilled.
Boogerbeard, and this is the truth, I'm going to give him advice right now because I want it to be a competitive fight, and I think that everyone always vastly underestimates Harrington. Harrington's game, dude. He will go in there and he will not quit. He will fucking, he might end up puking. He will
fight until you punch him in the stomach once.
and he pukes everywhere. But Boogerbeard needs to start training 2 to 3 times a week in boxing up until Skankfest in order to be just physically prepared to get into the second round.
There's also something about
he won't get into the second round. He won't be able to. He won't have the energy if you're not athletic and you don't do sports and you're just not going to have the energy. And we watched that happen with Dylan. Honestly, I watched that fight again the other day. He didn't even look half bad the first minute of that fight. Harrington just covered up and Dylan punched himself out.
And you also don't. If you haven't been in fights, you will drastically underestimate how quickly you will get tired. Like if you're not used to that, you'll understand. And when you see in the beginning of that fight, he's just throwing punches, and he's like, "Oh look, I'm kind of
pull up Dylan versus Harrington."
He's like, "I'm overwhelming
it's on YouTube.
him."
You should be able to find
it. I'm overwhelming him. He's not throwing anything at me, and I'm teeing off. And you throw everything you have into every punch, and it's like, dude, if you don't do that a lot, how long do you think you can throw everything into every punch you have? It's like this, right? Go outside and sprint and see how long you can sprint at your fastest sprint.
Yeah.
Feels really good for a little while.
For our fans, go outside and walk.
Go outside. Okay, first off,
just get outside.
Have a salad. One day, incorporate salad into what you're doing.
Yeah.
Think about a walk. But you know what I'm saying? It's like you can only go for so long before you start slowing down.
Yeah.
And you don't really go back to that sprint that you had at the beginning. No. It's never quite going to be that fast again.
Here, go ahead. This is Harrington.
And this was your strategy that you told him, right? Cover up and let him go off.
Let him go off. And you hear me, see, look at Dylan. Just punching himself out, putting everything into
he's getting so into
tense. By the way, pause it for a second.
Yes.
That right there, when you tense your body like that,
it's awful.
It's all wasted energy. Dude, you're just burning your energy out right there by tensing and going, no.
You ever see, it's what Anderson Silva said about fighting, which I thought, even in his broken English, was the best, the highest level fight advice, is he goes, I don't fight, I play.
Yeah.
And there's something about that that's really smart. It's a version of Bruce Lee's be like water shit, right? He's like, I don't go out there and fucking go, just do that at home. Just go for a while. Realize how tired you're going to get pretty quickly.
So when I'll give you an example, just, today, I was sparring with Paco and
I'm tired
Diego.
from that, by the way.
I was sparring with Paco and Diego. Mm-hmm. Diego's my coach. He's, high-level black belt, got really good striking. Diego's a legit fighter. And when I spar with Diego, I'm just more tense because there's more shit happening. He can hit me and he can hurt me, and he does. We spar pretty hard. And when I'm with Harrington or I'm with Paco, I'm so loose because they have like I don't, even if they can hit me, I don't really have any fear of them hitting me. I know I can hit them more than they can hit me. So my energy, I'm so much more relaxed, and I can literally box Harrington for 10 3-minute rounds. I can just keep going with Harrington. Diego, after like 3 rounds, I'm really like exhausted, and I'm really, now he's chasing me around the ring.
Yeah.
Diego doesn't take any time off. He's a super athletic kid as well. So, that tension, that's what Boogerbeard is going to have to worry about. Good. But when you can keep on playing
I would tell you, this fight is fascinating to break down, as low level as it is.
But look, Dylan's swinging, Harrington's just...
Everything, big movements, and nothing's paying off or doing anything.
But even I say, watch, in between the rounds, I give Harrington advice where I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This was so much fun, dude. Skankfest. The fights at Skankfest are awesome. By the way, we're going to have it down on Fremont. The ring's going to be actually on Fremont Street.
Really?
In the round, people can stand all around the ring. It's going to be fucking wild. It's going to be wild. Go
now, by the way, Dylan is already feeling it here.
Yeah.
He is breathing heavy.
Go in between the rounds. Fast forward just like a couple seconds. Go in between the rounds. You'll hear the advice that I give Harrington in between the rounds.
When did this happen again, by the way?
This is last November.
This is almost a year ago.
Good pace, okay? You're good. You're gassing yourself for no reason right now. Let him gas himself. Literally, just be prettier than him. Relax. You're calm. Just calm down.
Calm down. Harry.
Yeah, that was very good corner advice. Very good corner advice.
The boxing match.
Yeah.
He's not. Harrington ain't one there.
But I'm saying, like, if Dylan.
But then Dylan gets so excited. He gets so excited that he landed
he punches
one.
himself out. I'm talking shit in Dylan's ear. But here's the thing: if Dylan actually cared about training, he's athletic enough that he could have probably won this fight. Dylan, there was a path. Harrington stinks. You see this. Harrington's not good, but Harrington will take the shot and he'll stay in there. He had better cardio, and at the end of the day, you'll see the end of the.
And by the way, it's not even so clear that he has better cardio. He might have. But I'm just saying, Dylan has used
cardio. It doesn't matter. But somebody can have better cardio or be a better athlete. Dylan can play basketball circles.
But I'm not even saying that. My point is that it's not even fight cardio. What you're watching here is that Dylan has exerted 10 times as much energy as Harrington has in this fight so far.
Yeah.
So it's not even who has more cardio. If Harrington did what Dylan did in this fight so far, he may have fucking gassed out too. In fact, I'm almost certain he would have. Yeah. But it's just like that. You even saw it right there, right? He landed one nice shot, and then because he landed one shot, he gets excited and throws fucking 15 more wild shots that are nowhere near.
Boogerbeard, and I don't want. I feel like it should be a fair fight. Boogerbeard needs to get with a fucking boxing coach. Learn a 1-2 and learn how to pace himself, learn how to shift down, learn how to, because to do 3 2-minute rounds, it's a way, it sounds easy, and then you do it and you're like, holy fucking shit, dude, this is way more tiring and way more exhausting than you could possibly imagine. Now imagine doing 3 5-minute rounds in a professional MMA fight for the first time in your life in Las Vegas on April 7th, Luis J. Gomez versus Jason Ellis, baby boys. Woo!
I'm excited and a little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
No, you should be nervous. When you're not nervous, that's when you should be nervous.
Frankie Fear. It's my best friend. Who's your best friend back at home? Dave Smith? No, your best friend Frankie Fear.
I don't know anyone named Frankie Fear.
Frankie Fear? Have I heard of him? Is he a comedian? Does he do stand-up? That's a good name. Does he have a podcast? What, Vic? I hear you yapping in the background. Back in Mexico, in Guadalajara.
Are you saying Guatemala?
Guacamole? Guadalajara. Is that a place?
Yes, I'm eating guacamole.
I don't know. Guatemala? Is it Guatemala?
Guadalajara. There's a Guadalajara out there.
Probably.
Yeah, you got Guadalajara right.
Yeah.
Is that a place in Mexico or is that its own country?
No, that's in Mexico. Guatemala is its own country.
Really? They're letting Guatemala. They're letting Guatemala be
is
its
a
own.
fucking
All right.
a
They're
food.
they're being quick on it now because we got into a fight earlier on air because of you, Lewis.
Well, I'm sorry that
okay.
I've motivated them. I lit a fire underneath their slow asses, and now they pull up fun facts in real time and give visual things. It's a fun thing. It makes the show better, does it not?
No, Lewis is improving things here drastically.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say that the variable that we haven't figured out for Harrington, who I've never met before, but I really did not like Boogerbeard's little interview.
You didn't like him.
Boogerbeard really just bugged me in the wrong way. So
He booger bugged
that
you.
They're not going to allow him to actually keep boogers in his beard.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because
there are no rules.
Punches are going to slip off.
Oh, that's a good point.
Not going to happen.
It's as real as it gets. They both have shitty beards. The loser should have to shave their beard and kill themselves.
I'll tell you, I'm rooting very hard for Harrington. Because I love
You have
Harrington.
to. No, I don't know
and
Boogerbeard.
also because he's
I
a
like
new
Boogerbeard.
father to be.
And by the way, it's split. I did a poll. I asked the fans who they thought was going to win. I think it's like 51% Harrington, 49% Boogerbeard. Boogerbeard's got a little bit of a following on social media. He's a big like MMA super fan. He constantly gets retweeted by fighters. I'm excited to have him be a part of the Skankfest event. We're going to have a lot of fun.
This will be very fun.
Let's take
Hey,
a quick...
Dave, would you ever take on a guy named Flem Goatee?
I'd consider it. I'd have to see him first.
At Skankfest if he had Flem in his goatee.
53% says Harrington, 47% Boogerbeard. Final results.
Skankfest is sold out. But our marquee sponsor, YoKratom.com, has your chance to win tickets. So go to YoKratom.com for more information on how to win tickets to Skankfest.
Little Steve Jobs clip you got going
Love
on
that,
there?
baby boy. I made my entire staff watch that today. Did you watch it, Natalie?
Yeah, I watched it.
Liar.
No,
what was
I
it
did
about?
watch it.
What was it about?
It was about marketing the sizzle instead of the steak. It's like
Sort of.
basically he was
Sort
like
of.
you
Some
want to
hack-ass
sell.
shit. Yeah, okay. You didn't watch it.
He was like, you want to sell the idea of something like milk doesn't sell milk. They
All
sell
right.
the idea of milk.
Coop, give me another quote. Coop, give me another Jobs quote.
Just from the video or in
From
general?
from the video.
Well, he was talking about Nike and how they have sneakers.
Okay,
but nobody
all right.
knows
You
Nike
guys all watch it. I'm just making sure you all watch the
It's like
video.
Coop goes, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
I will
Are you
say,
launching the Skank phone? Is the Skank phone coming out?
No, it's not. Skank Phone 7.
I will say you sent this video and I was like, Lewis wants to suck Steve Jobs' dick. I get it. And then I watched the video and I was very moved by it.
It was a great video,
Yeah,
dude.
absolutely.
I'll send you another. If you're moved by it, I'll send you one that'll bring you to tears.
I would love to see it.
The iPhone
Remember
launch.
I
The
bought
iPhone
you-
launch video is fucking. It literally gets me choked up.
I bought you the that book on Steve
I read that
Jobs.
book. Then I
Did
listened
you-
to the audiobook twice.
Did you? Yeah, did you dig that? Yeah, I thought you would like that. It was for your birthday, like 5 years ago or something like that.
Actually, I
But thought-
read the book twice. The second time I read the book, I started tearing the pages out to bring into the steam room. And then I fucking ended up losing track of where I was in the
What
book.
type of fucking animal are you?
Yeah.
You tore the pages of the book
did.
out to bring
It really,
a
from the
steam
out,
room?
anybody watching from a foreign, like a window across the street, looks like I hate books. Like, I was just like,
I mean, just telling that story, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
to go in the steam room and enjoy my book.
Would you rip
The whole
page
thing, if I
out?
brought the entire, it was like an encyclopedia.
It was a big book.
If I brought
Yeah.
the whole thing into the steam room, dude, it would be a sludge. I wouldn't be able to open the pages.
Yeah, you're right.
text was
That
just
would be
melting.
ridiculous. So
Yeah.
instead, you ripped pages out of the book.
Yes.
You know, it would be less crazy than all those options.
What?
Just read when you're not in the steam room.
No, dude, my mind needs to fucking be focused on something or I can't really get a good steam.
All right.
That's not true. Sometimes I don't read in the steam room anymore. Sometimes I'll bring headphones into the steam room, but recently they melted. So I find
Yeah,
myself.
that seems like that'd be a problem.
That's the only time I meditate. I was talking to Duncan Trussell about that. It's the only time I'm really alone with my thoughts.
When did you
is
see Duncan?
I did his podcast a few days ago. Shout out to Duncan Trussell Family Hour. Go download that. It's out everywhere. If you guys want to listen to me go
love
deep with
Duncan.
Duncan. I love Duncan.
I did his.
He's
podcast,
in Austin.
I did his podcast years ago. Oh yeah, I should hit him up. When
Hit
I'm
him
out
up.
there.
Tell him to come out to your show. He came out to my show and he was the fucking man. He brought his wife. They were so cool.
Okay, yeah,
So
absolutely.
cool. In fact, let's take a moment to do some plugs real quick. Speaking of which, Dave Smith going to be in Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas, on the 25th. The first show is sold out. There are still a few tickets left on the second show. This thing is going to sell out in the next couple days, so go check it out. I'm at the Creek in the Cave in Austin, Texas. Ticket link is up on my website, comicdavesmith.com. Doing a bunch of cool stuff while I'm out in Austin. A bunch of podcasts and stuff out there, so could be anyone. So go check that out. But that's going to be a good time. And Skankfest, of course, coming up. We got a show at the Comedy Cellar tomorrow night if people are listening live.
Yeah. That comes out tonight on iTunes anyway.
That's right. Yeah, there you go.
If you guys, I think it might already be sold out, but we're doing a Skankfest preview.
Well, it doesn't matter because you can watch it.
You could watch it on Mint Comedy. So we partner with mintcomedy.com for Skankfest streams this year. So we're doing, I think, 12 streams with mintcomedy.com this year, right?
I'm doing a live part of the problem.
We're doing live Real Life podcast, Legion of Skanks, a bunch of crazy shit. Goddamn Comedy Jam, lots of stuff. Kill Tony. It's going to be incredible.
We're doing a live Kill Tony.
We are. Tony's only going to be there on Sunday this year, which sucks. They had to reschedule some of his other dates, but we're doing 2 Kill Tonys.
Tony up and tell him I'm going to be in Austin.
It's going to be incredible, doggy. Yeah. So if you guys want to, you should buy the live streams, but we want to show you how incredible those live streams are because Mint Comedy is a different level. It's not like the comedy we had last year. These guys are specialists in what they do, and they do an incredible job in everything they do. So we're doing a special Skankfest preview tomorrow night. This is Tuesday, September 20th from the Comedy Cellar. There's 2 shows, 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. A bunch of Skankfest comedians like obviously myself, Dave Smith, Big J. Okerson, Dan Soder, Derek Gaines, Adrian Appalucci, Cypher Sounds. The lineup is fucking absolutely stacked, okay? This isn't they're over the top with the visuals.
It's not the entire Skankfest won't be there, but we appreciate that.
But there's going to be like 6 or 7 comics per show. You guys can watch this live stream for free. For free. You don't have to pay. All you got to do is when you go to mintcomedy.com, you create a profile, and when you check out, use the promo code FREESKANK. It's all lowercase. It's case sensitive. Free Skank is a promo code. 8 p.m., 10 p.m. tomorrow. You can watch some free stand-up, and it's a free preview of Skankfest, and you can see exactly how great the streams are from Mint Comedy. So make sure you guys do that. Live dates coming up for me this week. If you guys are in Tampa, me and Aaron Berg, the Offend Everyone Tour, we're back in Tampa, Florida. We'll be there September 22nd through the 25th. Then we'll be in Plano, Texas on September 29th through October 2nd. Mikey Fig is going to join me and Aaron Berg on that one, which is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. And then at the end of the month, we're going to be in Philly. We got Toronto coming up. Portland, Oregon's coming up. Boston's coming up. We got a lot of stuff coming up. lewisofskanks.com is my website. If you guys love this show, subscribe at gasdigitalnetworks.com. You can get the entire on-demand library, all ad-free, uncensored, and in one place, pre-release on all the episodes. Go to Gas Digital, use the promo code YOMMA, get a 7-day free trial, get instant access to the on-demand library for this show and all the other amazing shows here on the network.
Hell yeah.
Damn, doggy. Damn. All right. What else happened in this week of MMA? Vic, what do you think we should talk about next, Vic? You're the one who's always crunching the numbers. Vic looks at like the trends. Like he'll watch the episode and then he'll pinpoint what we're talking about when people watch it, and then they dip off when we're talking about other shit. So he's that guy. Vic is a very analytical type of guy.
Well, he works for corporate.
He's very corporate.
That's right.
Vic is super corporate.
I'm just a cog of the machine, and I apologize.
But I appreciate it. We're never going to do that, dude. I'm a from the gut guy. I'm a fucking bingo bango. Let's go from the gut. Just shoot it out there.
And by the way, we had a great performance on the show last week, and I think we should get our Nate Diaz fix in there. There's a video which is on the rundown, guys, and Nate Diaz released a vlog of
I didn't see this.
Down. Did you? And it's like a 22-minute vlog, but there's a couple highlights in there.
Let's watch the whole thing.
The first thing that happened, yeah, I thought about it, but the first thing that happened, by the way, you get to see the water bottle incident behind the scenes. Also, the night before the fight, he's hanging out with Motley Crue.
That's fun.
So,
that's pretty random and fun. Let's see the water bottle thing.
All right, we're pulling it up right now.
Is that the vlog you mentioned?
Yes. And we're pulling it up right now. But by the way, guys, I just want you to know that there it is right there. We got it. We're on top of it.
Let's see. We're going to probably get copywritten for this, so make sure you just put a still image and then put the video. Put a link to the video and so they can watch it.
So the first part is about 5 minutes in. Go ahead, 5 minutes in.
It was cool that he had the whole crew with him. Oh, and this is before he knows he's fighting Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently he
had a sparkly chain.
Fuck your team. He said, "Fuck Chechnya."
Dude, how much did you want to see that
USA,
fight?
motherfucker.
I wish we had seen that fight.
I am in very weird waters here. This has never happened in the history of this company. So, trust me when I tell you this is the right decision not to do this press conference right now.
Do you think?
And,
Do you think Dana in this moment? So, how much of an actor is he? Right? Because do you think he's literally going like me calling off this press conference is just going to create more interest in this? Because it did. The press conference is one thing, but I think when you have to call off a press conference because it got so heated backstage, I think that just made numbers trend in a much better direction.
It seemed like just from watching it, my feeling was Dana White sat there in the boos and everyone booing the shit out of him when he said that, and it seemed like he didn't like it.
No, he doesn't like it.
It seemed like he just didn't like being booed.
I know that he ended up getting into a whole thing with Schaub, or I guess
he's pissed at Schaub. But let me just say about this thing, because that's kind of interesting too. But about this thing, it did seem to me like I think that lines get crossed sometimes, where of course after the fact he always wants to promote it and use it as best as possible. But I think sometimes he gets spooked, as you would if you were Dana White, where like, you know, I remember thinking this with the John Jones DC thing, where they like really fought and it tore down the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you could see kind of this reaction in him where he's like, fuck, dude, this could go really bad for me. Like, yes, as long as it doesn't go really bad, it promotes the fight. But shit, got the Conor thing was another example. You know, we talk about that Conor thing all the time. Like, you remember the glass cut Michael Chiesa?
Yeah.
And what we always go is like, what if it had been Rose?
Yeah.
Who was in that bus too? That would have looked so bad.
Yeah. It's so funny how like if it's a dude, we're like, yeah, whatever, it's fine.
Well, dude, you're a fighter, but if it's this like fucking 135-pound girl, you'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I think he gets worried. I think his thing there is like, I'm worried this will cost me way more money.
I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, and that's specifically what I guess he gave Schaub shit about.
Which you did too on this show. You went into conspiracies.
I did go to conspiracies because I don't think it's that crazy.
I've always said you have a lot in common with Brendan Schaub.
They call me the East Coast Brendan Schaub. A lot of people do that. No, but so I guess what happened was somebody said Pat Miletich was an interviewer, or I guess he got confused. Somehow the wires got crossed, and he thought Pat Miletich said that there was never going to have the fight. There was some conspiracy that they called up
Pat
the fight.
Miletich said this.
Or they
Tim Sylvia will beat Andre Arlovsky.
They told that the UFC told Khamzat not to make the weight, right? This was a conspiracy, and somehow Dana White thought that he was talking about Pat Miletich. So he was like, Pat Miletich needs to get his fucking head checked. This is crazy. He was like, I don't know, maybe he got hit too many times. It was like, why would I ever do that? And Dana White's just doing his Dana White thing, and I believe Dana. At the end of the day, it was a little bit of a conspiracy theory, right? But then the interviewer goes, no, it wasn't Pat Miletich. It was Brendan Schaub. And then then Dana was like, oh yeah, well that makes sense, and then he sort of walks off. But that was really all it was. It really wasn't a big. Right. It wasn't a big fucking like slight at Schaub. And then let's see.
And by the way, Miletich was also promoting that conspiracy, so they both were.
Oh, they were.
Schaub and Miletich, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I apologize to Pat Miletich, then that makes sense. But I think that's literally all that Dana White said, and then Schaub went off on like a whole diatribe.
What exactly? First off, just taking this bit by bit, piece by piece here. To say the UFC told him to miss weight, that seems far-fetched to me without any evidence to back it up. Yeah. I'm not saying that like something, maybe we're certainly not privy to all of the behind the scenes things that happen, but I highly doubt that that's what happened.
Well, that's sort of the point that I was making, which is like there's other shit that goes on behind the scenes.
Sure.
Deals that are made, money that's like exchanged hands. There's some shit going on. It's prize fighting, and I think I think the foundation was built on sort of some underground fucking shit, right? It's not professional baseball. This is still cage fighting.
And
it's still a very young
boxing.
sport.
It's not even boxing. I mean, look, they have a system set up. I don't know if you heard, there was recently a clip that I saw. I don't know if it was an old clip or a new one, where DC was talking about how they pay people. You know, and we've always known this, that like the official numbers are just the numbers, and then the UFC decides what they want to pay you on top of that. So sometimes it looks awful for people.
Yeah.
But he was talking about something like he's like for his title fight that it was like $200,000 is what he was getting paid, and then Dana White was just like, I'm going to give you $5 million or like something like that. Like it's just like that's how they like to do it. They like to do it where like you're on what we owe you technically is like a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you millions.
Yeah.
Like they like to do it in that way. Now that's not how most sports work. Most sports work where like you get your deal. But also I just go, my thing is kind of like, all right, well, if some other company wants to come up and say, well, we'll tell you exactly
what the fuck was that?
What on earth?
Folks?
It's a conspiracy. Play the.
Did I just meet myself in the past?
Wait a minute, Dave. Are you in the future right now ranting about the UFC?
Which one is me?
This is like the moon landing. It's all been recorded.
I swear to God, I saw that the tab was muted before I opened it.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute your tab, girly girl. That was creepy. I'm sorry, guys.
That was
I'm sorry,
weird.
folks.
That was
Remember what show this
inappropriate.
I don't sexually harass Natalie on MMA Rap. Ooh, if this was Real Ass Podcast, Natalie, we'd be fucking going to the bitch booth. You'd be dancing to girls, girls, girls.
I think that Coop should dance sometimes.
Coop, do me a little dance. Go to the bitch booth. Coop, do a little dance for me.
That was uninspired.
Let's see.
Is Coop angry?
I don't know. Coop is in a little bit of a weird mood today.
You all right, Coop?
Yeah, I'm good.
We're checking.
Why do you guys think I'm in a weird mood?
I don't know.
I don't know. You're usually more vocal.
Oh,
you're out there.
I think I'm in some hot water today.
Do a little dance,
push
Coop.
my luck.
Let me see. Let's see a little dance.
Dance for
I'm
us.
saying.
Coop. Yeah.
Dance for.
All right.
Put some shoulder into it.
All right,
Put
that
some
was pretty
shoulder-
hot.
Coop, do you train MMA? I need more bodies in
Well,
training.
dude, no, Louis. I've always said I would love to come down and have you.
But you have no
I've trained a little
experience?
bit. I wrestled in high school and then I've done some Muay Thai and
I'll
jiu-jitsu.
destroy you, dude.
Okay, but that's not nothing.
But I said from the top, I've always wanted to come train with you.
When you hear people like I've trained a little bit, that always means that they did it like twice.
Yeah, dude, I've done 2 classes of jiu-jitsu, 1 class of Muay Thai.
No, yeah, it's bad.
yeah, that's not much.
How about some capoeira? Have you done that?
Only in front of the mirror.
Can you dance fight for us right now, please? Can you show me your best capoeira?
I probably would tear a muscle in my leg if I tried that. Got to be honest.
Banana way, banana.
You do a
way,
high kick leg.
banana. Let's see. That was nice. Nice legs. Nice legs on this kid. All right. So also, let me say, Jake Paul, he's talking shit about Nate as well. I heard him saying that he was like, dude, I don't want to look past Anderson, but Nate, this is the fight that everyone wants to see. He is specifically looking past Anderson. I think Anderson's going to knock him back into Tyron Woodley's fucking territory.
I don't. Here's the problem, right? Is basically what you're saying is that I think my guess right now is I think Nate is going to end up fighting his next fight in the UFC.
You think so?
Yes, because the truth is that Anderson taking this Jake Paul fight, I think, again, I don't know. Things could go in different ways, but I think this ruins the whole thing for Nate. I think that Anderson's going to fuck up Jake Paul, and then that fight with Jake Paul is not as fucking big a money fight or as interesting.
Still a big money fight.
No, it's not.
It's still honestly will
Nate
even
makes
if
huge money with the UFC.
Listen to me.
He makes huge money.
Even if Anderson beats Jake Paul, I still think there's an opportunity for Nate Diaz to make more money boxing Jake Paul than for having another fight in the UFC. I'm not saying
think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think the money that Nate can make in the UFC is going to be substantially higher than he can make fighting a Jake Paul after a loss. Dude, him fighting the Conor trilogy might be 5 times as much money as he'll make fighting Jake Paul.
If they give him that deal, they don't give people that deal. They don't give him $10, $20 million deals. There's guys that don't make that much money.
Nate is making money in the UFC like literally. I think my
what was the rumor? Was it Conor was making like $5 million a fight?
No, Conor was making more than $5 million a fight in the UFC. Nate is probably making something like that. I believe Nate made on the second Conor fight made $10 million. I believe on that one. Nate is making more money than any of the UFC champions. He's making.
Well, I mean, he's technically retired, right?
Well, right now he's out of contract with them. He's not retired, but he's out of contract with them. So I'll just say, I think what's gonna happen here is after Anderson fucks up Jake Paul, it's just not going to be as big of a deal for him.
Yeah, for the second fight, he got $620,000.
That's on the record.
That's not what he got.
That's on the record. Yeah.
No, he got more. He ended up getting more.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as much.
That's what
as
I was saying before. Is what the UFC does is like this fucking thing.
But I don't.
That's what everyone was saying is that he got a fucking $10 million for that fight.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Again, it's not official, numbers, so I don't know.
Or he can go box Jake Paul, make $10-20 million.
Can he after the Anderson Silva thing? I don't know. Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
I think people just want to watch Jake Paul fucking box whoever he's going to box. He didn't fucking.
I don't know. It depends on how the fight goes. It depends on how the Anderson Silva fight goes. It's a big part of it. It's one of those things that you just don't quite know. It's hard to say exactly what Jake Paul's value, how much people want to see the fights, and how many people are actually willing to buy them. As you've made this point before, his audience is very young, very savy with streaming
A lot
it
of
illegally.
sponsorship money. There's a lot of other stuff going on there.
True. But how much is there if he gets flatlined by Anderson Silva? How big is it? It's hard to say.
Coop.
I was also going to reverse it. What do you guys think happens if Jake Paul knocks Anderson Silva out in the first round or second round? Then what happens?
Well, then the Nate Diaz fight is a huge money fight. Yeah. But so then if that happens, then I think the Nate Diaz fight happens. But I'm just telling you, I don't think that's going to happen.
Mike Tyson apparently also watched Jake Paul spar for 30 seconds. According to Freddie Roach, who owns the Wild Card Gym in Los Angeles, California.
As one of the most famous boxing trainers in the world.
Yeah, he said that Tyson looked at Paul and left with no interest in interacting with the 5-0 YouTube boxer ahead of his October 29th match with Anderson Silva. He saw 30 seconds of him sparring and said, "Freddie, can we go down and see the pictures?" He knows that's where the good pictures are, and he wasn't as interested as I was.
So is this basically him saying, like, yeah, this kid's not, like, impressing me?
I don't think so. I think that's a headline.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's clear.
I think that Mike Tyson just doesn't really give a fuck about watching another dude spar. He's been there, done that. Regardless if it was Jake Paul or another young prospect, I think Tyson probably after a minute would have been like, yeah, I want to go look at the pictures. Like, I want to remember.
Yeah, it's not like Mike Tyson's coming in and watching like Canelo spar or watching like, this guy, you got to think like, look, Jake Paul is very impressive. He's like very good at boxing, and it's really cool that he's able to do what he's been doing. But Mike Tyson was at the absolute top of boxing. It's on the level of going like let's just say you started playing basketball a few years ago with you're a millionaire and you're like, I want to play basketball.
Oh, I am.
And you go
and I do.
You're neither of those things and you don't. You're not and you don't. But you go and you start and you get all these good trainers and you go and now you're like, oh, by the way, I'm like really I can play basketball with professional athletes who aren't basketball players but are like professional athletes and I can fuck them up at basketball. And then you're going like, okay, that's incredible. That's really impressive. But then you're like, hey, Michael Jordan, are you really interested to watch this guy shoot around?
Well, it's like
I don't know. He's been at a level
being able
that's,
to play with like running like high school varsity.
Yes.
And you're like, oh shit, you can go hang with a high school varsity team? That is
impressive, by the way.
Genuinely impressive.
Go to if you don't play basketball, go to a good high school varsity basketball team's practice, and you'll be fucking embarrassed by those kids.
Yeah.
If you got yourself to the point where you could play with them, that is impressive. But then if you were like, hey, Michael Jordan, what do you think about what this guy's doing? He might just kind of like look for a second and go, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So is there like a good steak place by here? Are there any pictures? Like, so that kind of makes sense to me. I don't think there's like anything there that's such a big
Saint
deal.
Ben in the Racist Live Chat says Tyson talks mad shit on Paul all the time. I'd like to hear that.
Has he talked shit about him?
I haven't heard it. But yeah, look, Tyson's a fucking legend, and he has every right to talk shit about Jake Paul, who's, technically a fucking hobbyist. And I mean, I guess he's a pro. He's doing professional fights. He did knock out a former UFC champion. You can't forget any of this. It is pretty impressive.
But again, you're talking about the fucking debatably in his prime, the best boxer who's ever lived.
Yeah.
Like he's one of, it's a different level.
All right, other things, because we got to get out of here in just a few minutes. Canelo beats Triple G. Blah blah blah. I didn't watch it. I didn't care. Apparently Rogan was at 3 different
Yeah, he went to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu championships, the Abu Dhabi Classics, and he went to the UFC, and he went to that boxing match. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun night.
The trifecta of combat sports. So, yeah, and then Gordon Ryan won the Abu Dhabi, I think, in like 3 different weight classes or something. Apparently,
he's like the best.
The best. Like the best of the best. He's fucking built like a fucking beast, dude.
It'd be interesting to see him fight MMA, man. I mean, you definitely don't want to go to the ground with that guy.
I mean, he doesn't want to stand with me, though. So
no, he would
probably,
never.
Be very
no, so he'd probably just take you down easily. He'd probably just easily take you down.
Classic matchup, as they say, the striker glass.
I mean, also, does he want to go to the ground with you? I mean, you are a blue belt.
Yeah, this is the before and after. He's all jacked now. Yeah, he used to be skinnier. Yeah, thank you for circling his body like a homosexual, Coop, over and over again. He rubbed his nipples with.
Are you checking out this dick area here?
All right, Coop, calm down, buddy. And then also, last but not least, Jose Aldo retires.
That's a big one.
The UFC.
That was kind of crazy. You always think of them like they're going to do it in the ring after a fight, not just kind of like, oh, I saw on Twitter.
Yeah. He negotiated a release from his UFC contract with 1 bout remaining, meaning that he is free to pursue move to boxing or other combat opportunities. But, probably bare knuckle or not MMA, though, right? He couldn't go fight for another MMA organization.
No, they released him from his contract.
Well, if he's released, he could do whatever he wants. Well, I will say, whether he's going to do that or just retire, I think he just had a kid, also, so maybe that had something to do with it.
So that's the difference between him and Harrington. Harrington's going to have a kid who lights a fire under his ass, fighting Boogerbeard.
Yeah, just fights more. Yeah. Step it up, Jose Aldo.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that Jose Aldo, just an incredible MMA career. Unbelievable. People say sometimes they'll be like, who's the best at a weight class or whatever. And I will say, obviously, like he lost to Connor and he lost to Max Holloway and those guys like that came after him. But that's what happens to everyone. Eventually, if you stay in it, someone beats you. But he's the best ever featherweight. He's the GOAT featherweight. Like, I mean, for the time. The run that he went on was like, no one else has ever done a run like that before.
I mean,
he was
Volkanovski's
dominant. Yes, right now is always the best ever. When I say the best
But I'm just
ever,
saying when you compare the body of work, you're talking about Volkanovski, what he's done to the absolute top tier and the way the sport's evolved. I feel like I'd still have to give that to Volkanovski.
Let me say this.
The best
for his
ever.
time. For his
yes,
time.
Obviously. Uriah Faber, he's better than Uriah Faber.
No, but I'm saying for his time, he was more dominant than anyone else has ever been for a long time.
Yeah, it was like
stretch.
26 wins
It
in a
was
row.
unbelievable. He was also just so much fun, such a vicious fucking striker. And it was cool that he really was able to like hang around at the highest level for his entire fucking career. So fucking legend, obvious Hall of Famer. Great fucking
Jose
fighter.
Aldo, we salute you.
Yeah.
You fucking crazy Brazilian. Shout out one more time to Yo Kratom for supporting today's show. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next Monday with another incredible episode of your favorite MMA podcast. Until then, have yourselves a great night.